It's a remarkable feeling when one is facing the actual last day of their career. Personally, teaching is the one thing I have done the longest in my life. I have only been a parent for just over 24 years. I have never been in a relationship longer than 17. And every September since 1970, I have gone to school after the Labor Day weekend. That's 51 years, but who's counting? A lot of things have happened to me over the past 32 years of my teaching career. In April 1989, I was hired at GCI for a full contract job of 6 sections of history. The Ontario government changed the retirement factor from 90 to 85, so tons of teachers jumped out that window and lots of jobs were available. Rather than going home after teachers college and living with my parents and 3 younger brothers who were still in high school, I backpacked for 3 months in Europe. I often say I learned more those 3 months than I did over 3 years of my life. Traveling is a marvelous experience. Highlights include seeing the ancient sites of the Acropolis in Greece, Ephesus in Turkey, going to the beaches of D-Day and Dieppe, and seeing Versailles in France, going to Dachau concentration camp in what was then West Germany, and East Berlin, where I saw the Berlin Wall before it was torn down just 4 months later. I've even been to Budapest when Hungary was still a communist country. Going to so many art galleries, museums, and cathedrals was the best learning experience for an almost 22-year-old starting her career as a history teacher. I returned to Canada the second last week of August, bought a car, found an apartment, and started teaching in September. As we all can remember, the first few years of teaching is a lot of work. Creating lessons for the first time, classroom management, making up tests and exams for the first time, and way too much marking to stay ahead of. I sure will not miss the marking. However, you need to remember, in 1989, there was no internet or Google. We had computers for word processing, but not all of us used them, and I was right out of university. I wrote my student notes on the blackboard or overheads. I wrote my tests by hand and photocopied them, and I was told the Gestetner had recently been removed due to fumes. I taught a lot of grade 10 applied Canadian history, but also world history and what was then called Society Challenge and Change, OAC Family Studies, and de-streamed grade 9 English. Good luck next year to all of you grade 9 teachers. We had a lot of fun at Galt. Some of us newbies still thought we were in university, and there were some very wild parties and stories to be told the next day. However, by the end of those 4 years, I believe I finally figured out what kind of person I needed to be in and out of the classroom. In September 1993, I was recently engaged to be married and was hired as the assistant head of history at Forest Heights. Back then, a department, if they had over 32 credits, there would be an ass head. Forest Heights was a non-semestered school. We taught 6 periods a day on a rotating basis. There were 10 full and part-time history teachers, and we had what we thought was the best department in the school. We were so involved in all aspects of FHCI. Every one of us coached a team, ran clubs, volunteered with student activities. We were the ones to organize the after-school beers on Friday, and lots of monthly parties in one of our homes, and the best event, the History Open, the annual golf tournament at Dundee. I made a lot of friends over those 8 years that I'm still very close with today. But in 2001, the WRDSB changed the subject department structure to match the new curriculum for our new 4-year high school diploma. There were no more male and female phys ed heads. Arts was combined with dance, music, and drama, and a new social science department amalgamated history, geography, and family studies under one umbrella. When I came to KCI that September, there were 41 sections and 22 full and part-time teachers in this newly created and sometimes divisive department. My son Cole was turning 5, and my daughter Sarah was turning 3, and my marriage was definitely on the rocks. I threw myself into school. I taught OAC Canadian US history for my first and last time it was ever offered. Fun fact, Amy Banbury was my student, later to become my BFF and travel companion. I taught my favorite course, Introduction to Anthropology, Psychology, and Sociology, which became a very popular elective credit at KCI. I also taught Canadian history, civics, and eventually West in the World, AP European history. I started to compete in triathlons, and once my kids were older, I continued coaching the cross country and swim teams. But most importantly, I met my new work family. In 2001, Diane DeCoon decided the social science department head should have their desk in the geography office, and the rest is, as they say, history. Over the past 20 years, Room 341 has been home to me. We would joke that our office was like Jerry's apartment on Seinfeld, and of course, I was Elaine. We still can't decide between Bill or Dean who's Kramer, and over the years, the characters have changed. We've had some retirements, Wayne, Rob, and Pierre. We've had some new additions that stayed, Evelyn, Arden, and Cam. And we've had some that left, Jeff to the library, Jackie, Zach, and the new guy. Yet, what has always been constant before and after school, during our prep periods, and especially during the lunch times, filled with backhanded compliments, Wayneisms, writing on the whiteboard, and the occasional swearing, especially on Friday. Most importantly, it's been the love and support we have had for each other. As some of you know, my son was diagnosed with leukemia in 2006, and then again with cancer in his lymph nodes in 2017. My work family was my foundation that got me through. I don't think there could have been a more supportive administration, staff, and students. KCI truly is the school that cares. I would encourage you to take advantage of professional development. I have been so lucky to have gone on 2 international trips, one through NATO and the other, the March of the Living Educators Tour, where we traveled with a Holocaust survivor to Auschwitz and other concentration and death camps in Austria and Poland. I have been a delegate attending the Historica National Conference in Montreal and the Parliamentary Educators Conference in Ottawa. I have also presented and attended at OHASTA conferences in Toronto and Facing History and Ourselves, week-long workshops about the Holocaust and Indigenous issues. I've worked on textbooks for Pearson Publishing and co-wrote the Student Success Curriculum for Civics. I even went to the last CATSI camp in the summer of 2019. The other day, Pierre said to me, "What do teachers reflect on in their retirement speeches?" It's the courses they've taught and the friends they have made. So to wrap this up, I have been fortunate to teach these last few years the most important course I have ever taught, Genocide and Crimes Against Humanity. Basically, it's an entire course on why and how people discriminate to the extreme and what to do about it. I wish it was compulsory for everyone. And then about the friends I have made at KCI, you are too numerous to name individually. From those of you in the history department and to the ones I've coached with, organized activities with, done professional development with, or just chatted in the halls. There are so many special interactions and connections that I will always remember. So what am I not looking forward to this September? The feeling of uncertainty about teaching during this pandemic. KCI without MSIP? Boo, hiss. 75-minute classes again. Ugh. And de-streaming of grade 9. Oh, that wouldn't have affected us in history. Anyway, good luck to you all. What am I looking forward to this September? Visiting my parents in Mississauga whenever I can. Golfing and skiing whenever I want to. Going to the gym daily if I feel like it. And hopefully doing some supply teaching at KCI. And most importantly, traveling. I want to recapture those feelings from that summer of 1989, learning new things about people and places. Finally, I want to acknowledge how fortunate I am to have a partner like Pierre, 2 healthy young adult children who have gone to university and are pursuing careers that make them happy, parents who have always supported me, and close family members in Pierre's family and my own. And of course, my friends. I have had a career that has been enriching, fulfilling, and purposeful. I can honestly say there was rarely a day I didn't want to go to work. But it's time to take advantage of that wonderful pension that we are all paying into to support me now and let someone else do the job. I'm really looking forward to enjoying the next 32 years or more of my life, and I can't wait to see what happens next.